This Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate the growing Hispanic and Latina community living in East Tennessee.
Es hora de fútbol en Tennessee.
I'm including my people.
Buenos días. We are Hispanic and we are Americans.
A month that I'm able to celebrate just a little bit of who I am.
WATE 6 on your side celebrates Hispanic heritage.
Good evening, I'm Tirsa Smith.
And I'm Don Hudson. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
To celebrate, we're highlighting local Hispanic Latina businesses, athletes, and teachers. We're learning more about the history, culture, and contributions of the growing Hispanic and Latina population here in East Tennessee.
Now, one sign of cultural growth is here in East Tennessee in the schools. WATE 6 on your side reporter Molly O'Brien visited 2 districts, making improvements to welcome an increasing number of Spanish-speaking students.
Schools across East Tennessee celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Hamblin County Schools has seen growth of Hispanic students throughout the years in their district.
Hispanic demographic is a large part of our community and a very valued part of our community. The numbers of students that are enrolled has continued to go up. This year, 32.4% of our students are Hispanic or Latino. That's a 1.1% growth over what it was last year.
And Hamblin County Schools is not alone. Knox County Schools also seen an increase in their enrollment amongst Hispanic students.
We do a home language survey every year, and about 8,000 families have indicated that they speak a language other than English at home. And out of those, about 5,300 have indicated that Spanish is that language.
With a prominent Hispanic community in Hamblin County Schools, the district has staffed 46 English second language teachers.
We added 9 in the district last year, and we were able to fill all those positions. So we've actually had an increase, pretty significant increase, to try to improve our educational outcomes with those students.
Hamblin County Schools has also partnered with Carson Newman for teachers to earn a certificate that allows them to teach in Spanish.
Dual certification to be able to teach, to learn enough Spanish to be able to teach in their educational background so that they can teach math in Spanish and reach those students better.
KCS also has an English language learners program, better known as ELL.
We have an ELL program, an English language learning program. We have the Welcome Center as well, where international families are welcome to come and enroll their children at school there and access interpreters of different languages.
In Knox County, Molly O'Brien, WATE 6 on your side.
We should note both school districts expect the Hispanic community to continue to grow in the coming years.
Another obvious sign of growth, from restaurants to furniture stores to candle makers, East Tennessee is filled with Hispanic-owned businesses.
WATE's Ella Wales spoke with one young business owner who's working to make a name for himself.
Martin Rangel Serna was born in Mexico and now at 25 years old is a business owner in Knoxville.
I was there till I was 3, and my parents, they had an opportunity to come to the States. We did have to migrate, but whenever we did, I came into Knoxville immediately, and I've stayed here ever since.
Rangel Serna is the owner of Rangel Brothers Painting, a commercial and residential painting company he started after graduating from high school. He says his skills run in the family.
My father had 30 years of experience, and it seemed like a good way to just utilize all his experience into making it into something that can be sustainable for the family.
He says his Hispanic heritage is one of the things that pushes him to work hard.
It's just kind of how a lot of Hispanic families are rooted. They just are family-oriented, and they just always try to be inclusive and just help the family as much as possible.
Rangel Serna encourages other Hispanic immigrants to make a name for themselves.
Just always have a positive attitude and seek help and ask questions and just ask experience and just try to get direction from someone that has knowledge of the field of whatever business you're seeking.
In Knoxville, Ella Wales, WATE 6 on your side.
Cerna is proud of how far his business has come. Aside from painting, they also specialize in drywall, pressure washing, and refinishing cabinets.
The University of Tennessee is also celebrating the growing population in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. The Vols actually had a game against San Antonio that was the first Spanish language broadcast in UT athletics history. Our own energetic Carlos Lopez was in the PA booth for that big game. Obviously, you heard him alongside former Vol and NFL place kicker Juan Rivas. They both share Hispanic heritage. Lopez is originally from Venezuela. Rivas is from Colombia. Their calls were streamed on utsports.com and were even highlighted on air on the SEC network. Now, we spoke to Lopez, who's been working with WATE on some special projects before and after the special broadcast. The former teacher truly believes in the power of sports to unite us and was beyond excited to make his dream of Spanish play-by-play a reality.
I'm including my people. I'm including the ones that enjoy American football that may not understand or speak English. Now they have a source that they can come to and listen to the games and maybe be able to understand the game a little bit.
The response has been incredible. The Southern Eastern Conference are posting it on their social media. The football team, some of the players have been reaching out. Some of the coaches have been reaching out. You know, thank you so much for what you're doing. I've been receiving messages from the countries of Spain, Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Argentina, Mexico, Honduras, Puerto Rico. Graduates of the University of Tennessee that no longer live here, they're back in their countries, and they're tuning in.
He's even excited when you just talk to him. The broadcast received a ton of positive feedback, enough that UT Athletics is now exploring additional games for the future and potentially additional sports down the line.
Speaking of the Vols, a growing number of UT student athletes are part of the Hispanic community. Still to come, how they're sharing their heritage with their teammates.
And she's really one in a million, a female Hispanic big rig truck driver. We'll find out what inspired her to get behind the wheel.
And we'll introduce you to one of Sevier County's top teachers who just happens to be Hispanic. What sets her apart when we come back. Welcome back. From not knowing the English language to now teaching it to her students. WATE 6 on Your Side's Kristen Gallant explains how one Sevier County teacher is using her Hispanic background to help parents and their kids when English is not their first language.
Buenos días. Pórtate bien.
Every morning, you'll find Miss Miriam Alvarez at the front doors of Pi Beta Phi Elementary School greeting her students.
Morning, Emma. Bye. Hey, Levi.
She does this to connect with her students and check in with their parents.
With the Hispanics, we have from different countries like Venezuela, Honduras. Most of our students are from Honduras. So I feel like I'm serving my country.
Miss Alvarez is originally from Honduras. She moved to Miami in her early 30s after a hurricane devastated her country. Several years later, she would move to East Tennessee.
I moved to Tennessee. I used to come on vacations, and it just reminds me so much of Honduras. It's just the mountains, the windy roads, the gravel roads, no internet in some places. And I just fell in love with it.
In Miami, over half the population speaks a language other than English, which means Miss Alvarez didn't have to learn much English until she moved to Sevier County.
I was cleaning cabins and cleaning houses. And the first 2 years, just like any other multicultural and language spoken person, the first 2 years I didn't speak because I didn't feel comfortable. People will make fun of me. They still make fun, but I laugh with them now.
When she had extra time, she would volunteer at her son's school.
I was just helping, cleaning the library or whatever it was needed. And then Mr. Boger gave me the opportunity, to start helping in the office when Hispanic parents came. And, because I could understand the English and then I communicated in Spanish, I have no problem, but I had issues the other way around.
Helping in the front office led to her becoming a substitute teacher.
One of the teachers, Ms. Randall, said, why don't you go to school? She said, you're a sub, and she said, you're very smart. And I said, I don't even know how to speak English. I said, I'm not going to write it.
At 40, Miss Alvarez started her bachelor's degree in Spanish. She would then get an English as a second language endorsement for her to teach elementary school students. She is currently getting her master's and has plans to get an education specialist degree. She tells her students and their parents, if she can do it, so can they.
I know what they've been through. I think that was God's idea because I've been through all. and I know how they feel. I know that they're nervous. I know how, the silent period. I know when somebody makes fun of them, how they look.
Ms. Alvarez knows it's important to embrace her heritage.
Sí, yo sé. Gracias. We are Hispanics and we are Americans. So we are here to create a better future.
In Gatlinburg, Kristen Gallant, WATE 6 on your side.
Not only does Alvarez have the title of 2020-2021 Teacher of the Year for Sevier County, she was honored by the Tennessee General Assembly, where they highlighted her work as a Spanish language interpreter, delivering food to Hispanic families during the COVID pandemic.
Meanwhile, the team at Centro Hispano de East Tennessee is supporting Spanish-speaking students outside of the classroom. Good Morning Tennessee anchor Allison Smith shares how their after-school programs benefit kids in Knox County.
Learning continues after the school day ends at Centro Hispano in Knoxville. The community center's after-school program serves Spanish-speaking students, primarily in grades K through 5 at 5 different sites, 2 days a week. A small group of students at each site spend the afternoon receiving literacy tutoring, homework help, and educational enrichment.
I feel like the conversations I was having for my first few years was, there's this population that's not being served. How are you guys going to serve them? You know, how can we help serve them? Both with the district, at the individual schools, that was the conversation.
The organization's Director of Youth and Family Engagement says the conversations now reflect the increasing number of English language learners in the Knox County School District.
Now the conversation is much more people coming to us and saying, hey, we have this population, can you help us serve them? And that seems subtle, but it's a big shift of recognition of the growth of this population.
ELL students face the dual challenge of learning academic content while simultaneously working on their English. Megan Barrelay Fogarty says the goal at Centro Hispano is to support student success and life opportunities. The staff and volunteers build relationships and trust with families and seek to empower East Tennessee's Latino community by serving as a resource for academic growth.
We want to create a welcoming, safe space for our students, and then there's a real emphasis on celebrating their cultural heritage and on engaging the families in the child's education. So making sure that we can kind of be that bridge between the families and the school. If they have questions about what's going on, they don't understand the homework assignment, they don't understand, you know, what this event is that's coming up, we get all those questions from our parents so we can make sure they feel more involved and more engaged.
Reporting in Knoxville, Allison Smith, WATE 6 on your side.
Centro Hispano currently has a wait list at all of its after-school program sites. And Megan says several other elementary schools are interested in the program. However, the challenge is securing more funding and more staff.
Centro Hispano has a wealth of other resources, including workshops for Spanish-speaking parents. Digital reporter Melanie Vasquez-Russell learned more about the Nurturing Parenting class, or Crianza con Cariño.
Gracias, Tirsa. It was so inspiring to learn from these parents whose first language is Spanish about how this class is benefiting their families here in East Tennessee. While the class may seem small and intimate, Crianza con Cariño is a program that is making a big difference in the lives of many Hispanic and Latino families in East Tennessee.
It's just parents who want to learn more about their child's development and how to manage their behaviors and support them through each stage of development.
The program's most recent round of classes began in late August. The focus of the class is learning more about positive parenting while creating and maintaining healthy relationships with children.
Gracias al curso, sobre todo la parte que nos explican sobre la psicología, sobre la empatía, sobre entender que son seres humanos igual y que las conductas que ocurren no son porque sean niños malos o porque sean malcriados o maleducados, sino porque son reacciones que hay en el cerebro, en el organismo normales y me ayudó muchísimo para poder calmarme, entenderlos, poder ponerme en sus zapatos.
Leaders say the class is training parents for the most important job they will ever do. Nurturing their children and themselves by breaking cycles.
Estoy muy contenta de tener esa clase. Me ha ayudado a romper ciclos que vienen de mi familia. A un niño que si sabe defenderse, él va a saber golpes, no cariño. Y ese ciclo va a continuar. Yo quiero, para mí, romper ese ciclo en mi familia. Y Crianza con Cariño me ayudó mucho.
Centro Hispano will soon announce the next round of classes for parents who want to learn more and do more for their children.
Thanks, Melanie. And still to come, we celebrate Hispanic heritage. I meet a young mom blazing her own trails. What inspired her to get behind the wheel of a big rig?
And these three Lady Vols are a win for representation. Meet some of UT's Latino student athletes when we come back.
Welcome back. Of the 3.5 million big rig truck drivers, only 10% are women, and even fewer are Hispanic women. Alicia Vasquez knows the statistics and enjoys the fact that when she's behind the wheel, she's in a very unique position. Alicia Vasquez is going over her big rig safety checklist. She has to pop the hood and check the fluids like the oil before she begins her next trip to Atlanta.
I'm still learning to back every day. It's not something that you get fully, after a couple weeks of training.
She's still learning because she just started jumping into the cab and driving big rigs about 3 months ago.
I wanted to try something different. I wanted a career, and I wanted something that I could support my family with, and I wanted to travel, and it was a way to do it all.
And travel she has. The 37-year-old mother of 3 older boys has already been to California, Oregon, Washington, Wyoming, and several other states. Vasquez says she likes the idea of being one of the few Hispanic and even fewer women drivers.
You have to give everyone an example to look at, and somebody to look up to, and someone to show others that, hey, you can achieve your dream.
And as she rolls down the highway in Tennessee and far-off states, she says being unique suits her just fine.
I do my best, and I show up every day and do what I love.
The Hispanic community makes up roughly 6% of the overall population here in Knoxville. A small portion of that calls the University of Tennessee home, and an even smaller portion participates in athletics for the university. Reporter Dominic Webster sat down with 3 Hispanic student athletes who are truly a win for representation.
Really amazing. I feel like I have a family here.
UT Athletics fields 20 varsity teams from football to swimming and diving. Of those teams, a small portion is made up of Hispanic student athletes like Vanessa Yeli, a Caracas, Venezuela native who plays for the Lady Vol golf team. She's happy to be on Rocky Top doing something she loves.
Really the opportunity to be here, it's so exciting, and I'm doing what I love to do. So, it's hard, but at the same time, people at UT are extremely good with athletics and international people.
For Lady Vol soccer players Jada Thomas and Nayeli Diaz, it's a way for them to celebrate a little extra of who they are.
Being that Hispanic population only makes up around 6%, being able to be recognized in the community is very special, and a month that I'm able to celebrate just a little bit of who I am.
Hispanic Heritage Month really has allowed me to embrace a part of me that maybe not many people see or know about me. And so I think that this month is really special.
On the pitch or on the links, you can expect big things out of these 3. And for one, she wants her experience to be the same for those that come after her.
I really want my experience to be the same for the people that are coming into the team. There's a Spanish girl right now that just got in, and I'm welcoming her as people did to me in my freshman year.
Even though they are far away from their families, they value the time they get to spend with them, even if it's over the phone.
It's definitely a family aspect, and even though I'm pretty far away from them right now, technology and just knowing that they're near me in spirit is always helpful.
In Knoxville, Dominic Webster, WATE 6 on your side.
If you're in the mood to watch golf, you can catch Vanessa on the fairways of Cherokee Country Club Sunday through Tuesday for the Mercedes-Benz Collegiate Championship.
All right, still to come, a look at this year's largest celebrations of Hispanic Heritage Month. Welcome back. Hispanic Heritage Month isn't like your normal month-long observance.
It runs September 15th through October 15th, splitting the 2 months. That's because September 15th marks the anniversary of independence for 5 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua.
And since there are only just a few days left in this official observation, the major celebrations honoring Hispanic heritage in our region have already come to a close.
The big one in Knoxville is the Olaf Festival in World's Fair Park. The annual event is known for its music, dancing, and food. Plus, it's centered around education. There's a parade of nations and heritage booths allowing visitors to learn more about the 21 different Hispanic and Latine countries represented at the festival.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month here in East Tennessee and across the country.
For more stories of Hispanic and Latine history, culture, and contributions here in East Tennessee, you can head to our website, WATE.com. We have a special section dedicated to Hispanic Heritage Month under the Community tab.